I recently came across this term called aura farming, and I've never heard this term before, and I actually don't know who coined it because the person that I saw it from was on X and it's an anonymous account, so I don't know who it is exactly. But the idea, essentially, from what I gathered, and my own twist on it, is that you can actually have people that are trying to harvest your energy or your life force. And I began to think about this and to think about all the times, specifically with the lustful spirits, that have tried to do this to me over the past few years. Now, this didn't really happen up until I was about 24, 25, and I'm 28 now. And the lustful spirits would almost try to take on my character. It was a form of narcissism and hedonism in a very peculiar way, but it was also, they would mirror me in a sense that they weren't necessarily trying to mirror my personality always, because narcissists can do that, but these kinds of lustful spirits were trying to siphon off the energy that I was bringing to the table. And so the more I thought about this term aura farming, the more I thought about how we have energy farms in society all over the place. And specifically, the biggest one right now is with lustful spirits. And so you got to be very mindful of these lustful spirits, because they absolutely will, depending on what exactly the lustful spirit wants, because obviously all lustful spirits want your life force and your energy force, but what exactly does that mean, and what exactly does that entail? Well, they want your ability to create. They want your creative energy, and that comes from obviously the lower chakras. And I don't necessarily like to use the term chakra, because what a chakra is it's a concentration point neurologically, well, for your nervous system actually, to connect to your neurological functions, but it's a concentration of sensational provisions in a certain area. That's a good way to think about a chakra. And so the lower chakras are obviously going to be related to obviously your root chakra is your foundational ways of life. So eating, drinking, water, not drinking alcohol or anything like that. I mean, you can do what you want, but I'm sober, and I don't necessarily condemn people that drink, but because obviously Jesus drank wine, but I just personally, I just don't really care about it anymore. But the eating, sleeping, all the survival stuff is the base of the root chakra. And then you have the sacral chakra, which is obviously your genitalia region. That's where all of your sexual energy and your creative energy comes from, is that sacral chakra. And then you have the solar plexus, which is essentially your connection to God through your confidence. Like, your confidence doesn't necessarily come from yourself. Your confidence comes from your relationship to God. And so the solar plexus, or the stomach, that's where you're going to be able to have self-esteem or confidence or self-belief, or belief in God and the will to carry it out, whatever that will is. And that's a big thing about masculinity that a lot of these lustful spirits want to take from you, because what is exactly the form of masculinity? Well, the form of masculinity is to impose its will on the surroundings of the organism or the being. So a masculine man doesn't necessarily need to be the loudest, right? In fact, the most deadliest men that I know are silent, and maybe I'll make a video on that. But this, what they're trying to do, these lustful spirits are trying to take your ability to impose your will on the environment. Now, obviously, women don't necessarily do this, but they can do this. Like, women multiply and men create. And so women multiply what men create. And if you don't believe me, well then look at the basic biological functions of our species. The man has to inseminate the woman, okay? And the woman is then making more of the man, so to speak. And that's what a biological function is of a woman in order to procreate. Remember, it's the woman that wants that man's babies. And men, we can think about this as where we want a woman like her, right? We want a woman like that woman. Let's say our friend or somebody that we know has a good woman. It's like, oh man, I want a woman like that. Okay, we don't want that woman. We just want a woman like that. Well, the women, the way that they see men is completely different when it comes to the biological reproductive process. Women see a man and they think to themselves, oh, well, so let's say her friend has a boyfriend or whatever. They don't want a man like that. They want that man, okay? Because that man is going to be the one that actually bears the fruit of children, so to speak. Like, he's the one that's going to actually inseminate. Men love more idealistic, and we have to for that a particular reason. I don't think the human species would be as evolved as it is if men didn't love idealistically to some degree. And I never recommend that we, as men, fall in love. We can have love for women, but to fall in love, I think, is madness as a man. And the reason that I think that is because I've done it too many times to see otherwise. And these lustful spirits are counting on you men and women women can fall in love with men, but it's a little bit different. You know, if obviously I would encourage a woman to not just submit to any man, to have proper discernment and to vet the man. And the way that you vet a man as a woman is to actually see if he's doing what he says he's going to do. It's really it's just kind of the mirrored situation of what a man is to do with the woman. Is the woman actually carrying through with her actions? If she does what she says she's going to do, is the man doing what he says he's going to do? Bada bing, bada boom. That's another thing to just look at. That's the easiest way to vet anybody, by the way, is if they're just doing what they say they're going to do. And if they're not, then they're either having an agenda, or they're trying to harvest your life source and just take whatever energy, because they can't create it within themselves. They don't have a connection to God. So they cannot fathom what that's like. So you've got to be very mindful about the people that you're around. But I was highly interested in this term aura farming because I can recount so many opportunities in the past that I personally gave these lustful spirits the opportunity to siphon off of my energy because I was so enchanted with the woman's beauty. I remember the first time that a 10, I would say in my book, a 10, that she really wanted me. And this was the first time that I've ever had a 10 even, not even look my way, but actually want me and actually express sexual desire to me. The first time that happened was when I was about 23, 24. And this was a woman that I actually would have wanted, like, if I were to picture the woman, and the devil sent her, don't get it twisted, the devil did send her, because as soon as you start to level up in your life, the devil will send you a man or a woman, depending on if you're a man or a woman watching this. The devil will send a man or a woman your way to try to distract you from all of the healthy decisions you're making. And oh boy, I didn't follow Jesus at this time when I was 23, 24. And so the first time this happened, I was just completely enchanted. And I mean, I wasn't necessarily a simp about it, because at that point I had been burned enough to know, like, I need to be cautious, but I wasn't over the hump, let's say. There was still some more spiritual lessons to learn there with women in general. And so I gave her a lot of my energy just by interacting with her. And I soon after I did that, after I started giving her more attention and I was always there for her, even though we weren't talking very long, I soon found out that women didn't really like me just giving her whatever she wanted. And obviously, that was the first time that I had a really attractive woman in my book. And I say that because she might have been like an 8 or a 9 to some other men, but to me, she was a 10. So it was more so along the lines of, well, because of her beauty and I was enchanted by her beauty, I completely lost my logical faculties and my critical faculties. And in that losing of critical faculties, I then gave this woman my spiritual energy. And I didn't even realize I was doing it for the most part. But that's the biggest one that I can think of in the past that comes to mind in regard to just letting the woman siphon energy off me. Because I didn't really care as long as she was giving me attention, right? But the attention came at a cost of my soul. And so was it actually worth it in the long run? Even though it was only a month or two, no, it wasn't. It wasn't worth it. And so I had to move on from that. I had to just move forward and learn from that experience. And so I got smarter, and I remember it was 6 months into my semen retention journey, and I've been doing semen retention since May of 2022, and it was October about, it was I know it was about Halloween time. These women, multiple women during one particular week came with bottles of wine to my door, practically just, trench coat kind of a thing. Like they're just ready to go. But I was working, and I also was starting just to really get really great results with semen retention. And so I found myself in a weird predicament. I thought to myself, well, I'm not gonna, like, obviously these women are ready to go, and I want to be ready, but for some reason I just cannot do it. I just cannot do this. And it was because I knew that it was wrong. I knew that it wasn't really what God intended for me. And at that point, I had not been following Jesus for even a year yet, but I still knew enough that God didn't want this for me, and this was a test. And that my sins from my past, I'm going to have to live with those kinds of repeated patterns of sins until I no longer have a physical body. This is not to say that I didn't repent. This is not to say that I'm not saved. This is to say that what we do sometimes stays with us, and the devil knows it. And so the devil will send you certain things that, oh, well, he fell for this in the past. I wonder if he'll fall for it again. That's the kind of thing. So it's more like the temptations that you fell for in the past that you're trying to heal from in the present will be even more enhanced in the future the more you level up spiritually. So that those tests, the temptations, get more difficult and more difficult. And that's why these lustful spirits want you so bad, is because they know that they can harvest your energy, and they can feel this sense of godly power that you have for free. They don't have to repent. They don't have to take accountability. They don't have to be responsible. They can just take yours. And that's not the way things work. It's not the way things work at all. So, and there are spiritual laws in place that demons and not even the devil could overcome, because obviously God is in complete control, and we have to just have faith in that. So I hope this message was useful and insightful. I wish I could give credit to whoever came up with that aura farming term, because I think that's a really pertinent term to discuss this kind of a topic. But if you do want to join the Regal Change Academy, we do have the free Discord as well as the paid community available. We are doing a seek retreat, a meditation virtual retreat on February 8th, just a couple weeks out. And that's going to be an all-day thing, one day, all day from dawn until dusk. And it's going to be a series of guided meditations with an opening and closing meeting to help with stress relief, to really wind down from all the craziness of the world. You know, it's 2025 and things are weirder than ever before. Like, things really haven't changed too much. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this. Like, there's a lot of great things going on in motion right now, but things are still pretty bad. And they're not going to get better as far as the societal foundation for another generation or two. And that's if we all come together and really make solid decisions and healthy decisions going forward. So that's that. But if you do want to join the Regal Change Academy, you don't have to participate, or you don't have to be in the Regal Change Academy to participate in the virtual meditation retreat. But if you are in the Regal Change Academy, the free or the paid community, it will only be $10. And in the free Discord channel, I currently just posted an ebook, a short ebook that I wrote, and it's not going to be available on my website or anything like that. It's going to be purely a Regal Change Academy exclusive ebook, and it's just designed to inform people. It's not an end-all be-all. And again, you can read that if you join the free Discord community. So it's freely available, but also if you join the paid community, it's also going to be there too. So you'll have a couple different options there. And in the free Discord, we also have free resources for meditation, fitness, and healing in general. And then in the paid community right now, we're finishing up the Art of War class series. We have more class series coming down the line. We have entrepreneurship workshops, AI optimization workshops, meditation workshops there as well. There's a lot of different things happening in the Regal Change Academy right now. As part of the full membership, you get 2 weekly Bible study calls, as well as a Regal Assembly call as well, where we talk about a variety of different topics and subjects. I do appreciate you guys tuning in, and I do appreciate you guys listening to everything that's being said and talked about here. I understand that the day and age of today is really about understanding how to give as much value per second as possible. So that's what I'm aiming to do. And really what I'm hoping to do and aiming to do is to just really fulfill people in a way where they can have a building block to fulfill their own lives. You know, I'm not going to be able to fulfill anybody, but I can give you the tools to fulfillment, at least one of the tools. And if I can do that, then I feel as though I'm doing my job to the best of my ability. So there we go. With all that being said, peace be with you all. Till next time.